So we have an Apple special event tomorrow. What are we expecting to be released? Let's discuss. So I'm joined today, as ever, by my good pal and business partner, Pete. Welcome, Pete.
Thank you.
I see you've been smacking your head on things.
Leave it alone.
Okay. What are we expecting to be released? I think Apple Watch.
Yeah, almost an absolute nailed-on certainty is we're going to see Apple Watch Series 6. We're not expecting a radical redesign on the Apple Watch Series 6, possibly a little bit slimmer and some more colour or material options, but we are expecting the blood oxygen level monitoring to be one of the new features on this watch, which potentially has a lot of interest for those in health and fitness, but also can monitor perhaps early signs of any illness. Some have even said coronavirus, so we'll have to wait and see on that, but a potentially exciting thing there.
Yeah, and probably a native sleep app as well, we're thinking.
Yeah, and possibly a cheaper case as well, perhaps something made out of plastic so that the device becomes accessible to perhaps your children.
Okay, so Apple Watch is something we are actually interested in. We're going to get a couple of those for reviewing both on my channel and on Pete's channel. I've never had an Apple Watch before, so it'll be interesting for me. The other thing that we're pretty much certain to get, I think, is some revised iPads. Probably not the iPad Pro.
No, probably more likely to be the sort of non-Pro lineup, particularly the Air.
Yeah, so they're due an update. So you know what that's going to look like, who knows? But some updated iPads. That's not a lot, though, is it, for the event? There is one other thing that I think we're fairly certain about, though, isn't there? Which is the AirPods Studio.
Yeah, that's right. That's the over-the-ear studio level noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see what Apple do with this. I mean, I use the Sony WH-1000, which is they're just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's difficult to imagine how they could be better actually at the price point.
I know you like good audio, so I'll be interested to see your thoughts if we do indeed get some AirPods Studios.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where Apple go with this. I've never had AirPods because they just don't work with my ears. As large as they are, things just fall out of them. So it'd be useless for me to have AirPods. I'd lose them. I find I can't get a good seal anyway with that type of earphone, so I don't enjoy the music. So I use over-the-ear headphones, so this could potentially be of interest for me. Although I will say the Beats by Dr. Dre headphones do not interest me in the slightest. They colour the sound in a way that I don't like. I think they're overpriced as well for what they are.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. I've never had a set myself. Sometimes colouring of the sound, Bose do it, but I don't mind that. Who knows?
So if these are just wireless noise cancelling Beats by Dr. Dre, it wouldn't interest me personally, but I think there's a massive market for that. So
we'll just have to wait and see what they say tomorrow.
Absolutely.
The fact they're calling them Studio suggests perhaps something of a different approach from the Dr. Dre brand. Who knows?
Yeah, perhaps. Although Apple are pretty liberal with the Pro moniker as well, aren't they?
No, they are these days.
Yeah. So those things, I'm looking down at my iPad notes here, but that doesn't seem to add up to a massive event. And what's interesting is when you go to the event page on the Apple website, there's an opportunity to add it to your calendar.
Yes.
And when you do that, it books out a 2-hour time slot in your calendar.
It does.
I don't think Apple Watch, new iPads and AirPods Studio would fill 2 hours if the program is indeed that long. That would be possibly a touch boring. So there are some other things. Now, of course, the big thing that we haven't mentioned yet is iPhone 12. Now, there's a huge number of people who are saying there's not going to be an iPhone 12 tomorrow at the event.
I mean, there's been some reports of some delays in production due to the health crisis that we're going through at the moment, and that we're not going to see that till later in the year. But I'm not so sure that we can be convinced of that at this stage, are you?
I'm not convinced of it. To be honest, the rumours that have been going around, I've not really bought into anyway. There were a huge number of people saying that there was going to be an announcement last week on Tuesday that there wouldn't be an event at all, and it would simply be a press release with the new watch and iPads. And I thought at the time, well, that's unreasonable. Why wouldn't Apple do an event? And that's proven to be the case. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, actually, if Apple leaked the rumour themselves that they weren't having. iPhone 12. I think that it's likely or possible that it could actually be released tomorrow. Maybe that there's a delay in getting hold of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see why they wouldn't announce it. But we're not expecting radical changes. Obviously, there's the support for 5G.
Yeah.
My expectation is LiDAR as well.
Yeah, LiDAR, so much like we've got on the current iPad Pro, could be coming to the iPhone Pro. And also rumours of a new colour, midnight blue, like this deep navy blue. And the mock-ups I've seen of that do look rather nice. So if you're in the market for a new iPhone Pro, I'm quite jealous because that's a colour I really like.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into this now, but I think that's an interesting point that you're making there, because I know from talking to you about this that none of these other features of the iPhone 12 are particularly exciting to you, but a colour that you like.
I really like the colour. There is no way, just for record, that I would go out and get a new phone based purely on the fact I like the colour if there was no other good reason to do it. But I do really admire that colour. I think it's lovely.
Excellent. So there are lots of rumours of other Apple products. So let's just quickly run through those, whether or not we'll see these or not. AirTags. So
Yeah.
These are Bluetooth location tiles.
Like tile, yeah. And the rumour is that you'll be able to track them from the Find My device app, which obviously started out with just phones, and there will be an offline mode as well. So a very useful little thing if it comes along, although you can still get tiles now.
But potentially also, which is interesting, is use of AR in tracking, so that you use your camera and possibly a balloon shows the location of the...
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So, and sticking with AR as well, there's the Apple glasses, which are widely... In fact, I think it's fairly certain that Apple are making some sort of wearable tech with augmented reality.
Yep.
Are we expecting to see that at this event, though?
Well, I know we're a bit divided here, aren't we, Dave? Because
I'll just say I don't think this is coming. I think Apple would do it as a unique event for this product.
Reckon?
I think so.
Well, the only thing that makes me think it, and I'm probably completely wrong, we'll find out in about 24 hours, on the Apple website.
The logo, right. So if you screen record this, Pete, and then we can just demo it to the audience.
Yeah. Okay. So if we click on the event logo there, give it a second. What it does do is it...
That's really cool.
Just move my phone about. So, but yeah, that for me suggests that AR is going to be a bigger feature of this event than we perhaps realise. I know we're expecting LiDAR on the iPhone 12 Pro, such as the iPad's got.
Just the Pro phone, or do you think it would come to the standard phone as well?
I suppose it would make more sense if it came to the whole lineup, in light of the AR logo. I still think we might get, it might be one of those ones, you know, sometimes they do an event where it's like, they almost think, oh yeah, that's it. And then
One more thing.
Just one more thing. I'm going to go out there and say that will be the glasses, but you know, I could be wrong. Just thinking about what you're saying about the AirTags, little balloons popping up. Imagine if you've got your glasses on and you can see where they're going. Dare I say contact tracing, you know, people going up red or green or blue, depending on whether they're infected or not, who knows.
Okay, so you're either going to be very smug tomorrow or you're going to have egg on your face, Pete. It's one of those two things.
Looking forward to it.
So something else that we're expecting is with regard to Apple services. And there's been rumours of this Apple One.
That's right.
This came from a domain name that got registered, I believe.
A number of domain names registered, as I understand it.
So potentially all of Apple's products in one monthly subscription. So let's just round those up, because I pay for these things. I pay for a family Apple Music pack. I don't really use it, but my boys do. We pay for Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Again, I don't use it, but I'm assuming my boys do. There's iCloud. We do pay for some extra storage. And that comes as 3 separate bills each month.
And of course, Apple TV.
Apple TV, which, although because of the number of Apple devices that we buy through the business each year, we've always got.
But that is potentially 4 subscriptions there if you didn't have those things. So actually putting those all together in one makes a lot of sense. And actually, I don't know of anyone else who provides all of those different things in one package.
Yeah, and if they get the pricing right, what it will mean is that people that currently subscribe to only 1 or 2 of those things will actually have the whole bundle. So just getting deeper and deeper into Apple's ecosystem, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there we go. Let's talk about Apple Silicon.
Yes.
Because this is my primary interest. I'm not, a huge fan of the consumer devices particularly. I use an iPhone because I prefer it to Android. But that's the only reason. If Windows Phone still existed, I'd have that. And
do you actually use your phone? Every time I try and call you, you just never answer.
That's
Right.
a special ringtone I've got just for you.
Silence.
Apple Silicon, I'd love to hear about Apple Silicon tomorrow. I want to know about the machines. I want to see what they're going to release. It's possible, I suppose, that Apple could give us a teaser.
Passing mention, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be the focus of tomorrow. There's another event, isn't there, suspected for later in October?
Yeah, so we suspect an October event. And this is also why I think iPhone 12 will probably be tomorrow, because why would you clutter up that separate Apple Silicon event with an iPhone? And that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it will be about Apple Silicon exclusively, because that's not just your run-of-the-mill every 12 months new product lineup, is it? That's a sea change. Yeah. So they want to make that a big flagship event that stands on its own 2 feet, I would say.
I'm sure that is the case, but I'm still quietly hoping for an Apple Silicon announcement tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be disappointed. HomePod, we think there might be a lower cost model.
Yeah, Apple have been slashing the price of their HomePod to try and get it to compete with cheaper offerings from Google and Amazon, and it hasn't taken traction. So there's rumours of not only a lower cost HomePod, but also a smaller in size HomePod.
Wireless charging. Now, of course, Apple had a product which they...
AirPower.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it to work.
Overheating. So they abandoned that in 2019 due to those concerns, but rumours are that they've been working on an alternative, smaller device since then, which kind of makes sense. iPhones come, as do Apple Watches, with wireless charging, yet you have to get a third-party device to do that. If you're into your Apple brand and that ecosystem, why would you not have something that is out and out from Apple?
Well, it's a missed business opportunity, and Apple doesn't like to miss an opportunity to make a bit more money. So
yeah, absolutely. And Apple need to keep their market capitalization bigger than most of the countries in the world.
I see. That is important. So that's what we think. Let's do that again.
Now that the audio is really good in here, you can probably hear Dave digesting things.
Mm-hmm. I was suppressing a fart, actually.
Well, you didn't suppress it, did you? You just redirected it internally. It was an internal explosion.
Yeah, you remember that film Inner Space? Yeah, you wouldn't. Let's move on. My son is behind the camera. He hates this. He hates this, seeing us
doing dad jokes. Just a question though for the YouTubes out there. When a dad makes a joke, even if it's the best, most sophisticated joke ever, does it automatically become a dad joke?
It does if you're telling it. So the event is at 6 p.m. UK time. So we'll be watching it tomorrow evening, and as soon as it's finished, we'll be putting our thoughts together and presenting that in the form of a podcast. Now, previously on the channel, Pete, we spoke about doing a podcast.
We have, yeah.
And we had a semi-favourable response in the comment section.
At least one person said they'd like to hear that.
That's enough for us. So we're going to have a go anyway with the podcast. Now, that won't be an audio-only podcast. If it is successful and it's sort of something we continue to do, then obviously we'll put it on iTunes and Spotify. But for this episode, we'll film it, but it will be in a podcast format, and it will be up on this channel, hopefully sometime tomorrow evening.
If all goes well.
So if you don't see it tomorrow evening, it means that all didn't go well. We'll figure something else out. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you'll join us tomorrow for our review of the Apple event. You can show your support for the channel with just one click of the subscribe button. Maybe we did enough to earn a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that's your thing.
In any case, we'll see you next time for some more geekery.
That's my line.